What's up guys, Willie here, and I want to talk to you guys about being a better version of yourself. Recently I read the book Essentialism and it really resonated with me. I made a video about it and you can check that out either here or here. Now, alongside the book I was listening to the audio version of Atomic Habits, and if you're anything like me, you have a hard time developing new routines or becoming more disciplined. Whenever I think of even being more disciplined, there's a lot of resistance and I kind of feel like I need to push away from that. And I'm not sure if that's just because I don't like being at the mercy of something else, or if it's just because that's the way I am. In my Essentialism video, I talked about how I was able to take on some new things that I deemed as very, very valuable and important in my life. Even more than understanding Essentialism, I needed to understand how to make it stick. I need to understand how to not make this just another phase of my life where I tried to stick to something that I deemed as important, but then I went back to my normal self and that version of myself that I wasn't extremely happy or 100% happy with. I feel like anytime I try to incorporate a better lifestyle or achieve something that I've wanted to, whether that's working out, a new diet, or even tending to my garden, or something as simple as reading the Bible every day, I just really couldn't stick to it. What would happen to me is I would have a ton of time to do these activities, but then the days where I don't have the time to make it happen, I wouldn't do it. I just simply would avoid it, or I would tell myself I would do it tomorrow. Tomorrow would come and then I would not complete it. And it's not a cool feeling. I don't know about you, but whenever I try to be a better version of myself and I know what I need to do, but I don't do it, it's something that I struggled with. And so when I was reading Essentialism, I knew I wanted to make it stick and I wanted to figure out how I could do that. Atomic Habits gave me that how.
So if you made it to this part in my little overview, then you're probably wondering how. How is it that this book introduces these ideas or theories that make you a better version of yourself? And the truth is, it's not one idea in particular, but a collection of ideas backed by amazing theories and amazing people who are able to achieve things by not changing the big things, but the small things. And it introduced me to one idea that I think made a huge impact, and that is the 1% rule.
People often think it's weird to get hyped about reading one page or meditating for 1 minute or making one sales call, but the point is not to do one thing. The point is to master the habit of showing up. The truth is, a habit must be established before it can be improved. If you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer a perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you can optimize.
This idea of being 1% better was something that when I initially heard it, I kind of laughed at. Of course, I could be better than 1% every day, I thought to myself, but then I really take a step back and realize that my motivation and being motivated to achieve something, it's kind of like peaks and valleys. It has a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And for me, it's not something that I am very proud of and I don't want to continue on. And so Atomic Habits has given me the ability to do the things that I deemed as important and have a daily routine to make these things work. A routine that works for me, and not something that's like an overbearing, non-sustainable routine. Before, when I was young and I had no kids, I had time to go to the gym for 1-2 hours, even 3 hours at a time. Now it's just it's not in my schedule, and so I have a minimum of going for a 1 mile run, and I usually do that in the morning, and a maximum of 5 miles running. And while sometimes I feel like I could go longer, I can go further, having that maximum makes it so that I have a little bit of hunger left to go and do this activity the next day.
Now, if you're anything like me, whenever you'd want to introduce a new activity or something you're really passionate about into your schedule and try to make it a new habit, you go at it 110%. And while you usually can do that for a week, maybe 2 weeks, there eventually comes a day where you miss it. And then that day turns into a week, and that week turns into a month. Then before you know it, the idea of the better version of you is something you're ashamed to even bring up. This used to happen to me all the time until I started looking at my goals as not these major milestones, but these little things I could do every day.
It is so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. Too often, we convince ourselves that massive success requires massive action. Improving by 1% isn't particularly notable, sometimes it isn't even noticeable, but it can be far more meaningful, especially in the long run.
For me, being the best version of me now means being the most sustainable version of me and achieving things on a smaller level and letting it accumulate to the level that I hope to see it at one day.
Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.